Hello, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whenever you are watching this podcast, listening to this podcast. I know y'all are like, what the heck, TaxCop? You started out decent, then you fell off, then you came back, then you fell all the way off. Y'all, this season 2 of Talks with the TaxCop. We just gonna go into it. Ain't no season. We not gonna finish them numbers. Life was lifing. And so here we are in the 2023 with Talks with the TaxCop. Y'all know I've been practicing. Y'all see I ain't stumble and bumble too much, right? So we starting out this year with a guest that is going to be, she in the background. Y'all, I'm gonna bring her to the stage because she in the background smacking and putting on a lip gloss and all this kind of stuff. And it's gonna be in the audio. Y'all gonna be like, why I hear her, but then I hear some smacking. Y'all know we not gonna edit it. My person dealing with the audio, he probably gonna be like, lady, mom, aka get it together. That's what happened when you employ your kids and they know more about tech than you do. Y'all, in season 2, we gonna get better. We gonna actually use some technology. We gonna improve our backgrounds. We gonna use things that make us pop, right? To the best of our ability. But y'all have heard this guest before. She actually was on season 1. And today, she has no idea what we're talking about. Like, listen, y'all come close. Come close to your girl. She don't got no clue what we talking about. But I do, of course, because it's Talks with the TaxCop. And today, we're going to go in, talk about business in a totally different manner than most of you all are probably thinking about. Okay? The things that just come at you when you kind of just put them together later, this conversation is going to be about how to get your systems in order, how to get your ish together, right? How to get them policies and procedures so that if anything fall through the cracks and you got to rebuild or you got to adjust, or as this guest says all the time, adapt, improvise, and overcome. I might have got it wrong, right? Adapt, improvise, and overcome. She got her all these acronyms. When you got to be ready to pull the trigger and pivot on the drop of a dime, this guest right here is going to be able to tell you all of those things and then some that you need to consider. So I'm bringing none other than my business BFF to the stage, Mrs. Myranda J Harper-Penn, the owner, the principal founder of Harper Business Solutions. Y'all give her a round of applause as I bring her to the stage. All right, I need to know my right from the left, y'all. Okay. Y'all see her? She on the screen. She don't realize she is on the screen.
Am I here?
You are. You here. I'm getting it together. Welcome,
hey,
Brad.
girl. Hey, how y'all doing?
How you doing today?
I'm well. It's Friday.
It is Friday.
Friday. It's been a long week, but we made it. So I'm here.
Glad we made it. All right.
Start.
That's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. How you doing today, Myranda?
I'm good. It's Friday. We had a couple of fires this morning, but we put them out and keep it moving. We pressing. I'm glad to be here. Season 2 kicking off.
I know. Anybody looking at the video, y'all know we are work in progress. We work in progress. I'm not that fancy yet. And my tech team don't want to learn everything they supposed to. So y'all seeing me put it together myself. Y'all like, what in the world? This is why you need a team. When she see this recording, she gonna be like, what in the world? You did that in real time. Like, why you didn't set some of this stuff up, honey? I'm learning the technology. Y'all know technology is not necessarily my strong suit, but it is hers. So for those who do not know you, Myranda, who's not listened to season 1, and this is the very first podcast they've heard of Talks with the TaxCop because they didn't know we had a podcast, go on and tell them about who you are, what you do, what you bring to the table, Um, go and talk to the people.
Okay, well, I am Myranda J Harper-Penn, CEO and founder of Harper Business Solutions. We are a full service accounting firm based in Raleigh, North Carolina. We focus on reaching beyond numbers and providing advanced accounting solutions to the empire driven CEO. Many people are probably like, I don't even know if I'm the empire driven CEO. Yes, you are. You're running your household, you're building that. We are all about knowledge first, because that is what's going to be the driving force in making sure that you get to where you're going to go. You got to be educated and know what you're going to do. And from there, stop chasing the dollars. So many people chase the money and then wonder why stuff breaks down. Because if you put a dollar sign out there and be like, oh, I need this amount of money, you're always going to be racing after it. But if you put the processes and the systems in place to be able to support in the way that you're going after that money, you're good to go. So that is what we do. We work with individuals, small businesses, and nonprofits. We have been going now for almost 10 years.
Yeah. Give it to them for the 10-year entrepreneurship. Go.
Yes. Yes, we made it. We made it.
What has made you all? That's perfect. What has made you all? What has made you keep going? First and foremost, she said 10 years. So anybody's listening is like, yo, I'm just starting. I don't even know what to do. I don't know how this works.
It was a journey. Like HBS started as another company. It started as tax time every day. So technically his business has been going for 12, but full time has been going for 10. There's a certain person that's sitting here with me who threatened me. Yes, you. Who, me? No, not me. Yes, she threatened me. Guys, the TaxCop will threaten you to do certain things. Sometimes it's for your good. Most time it is. So just trust her. But she was like, you're going to go home and you're going to start a business and stop doing stuff for free. And I was like, and she was like, and you better have this done by Monday or I'm going to punch you in the face. I'm like, why we got to resort to violence? Okay. Well, guess what? I went home that weekend and I got everything together because she was not going to punch me in the face, nor was she going to be threatening me at lunch no more. It just wasn't going to happen that way. So I did what she told me to do and it started. So it was working the business part-time while still working my good government job. And then moving into full-time entrepreneurship. Pause. Guys, if God tell you to move on something, be obedient. Because see, I was not obedient. I was the person who had this thing in my mind about a certain age, certain things would be done by this point in time and, schedules and everything. God was like, oh yeah, boop, you getting fired. Boop, you getting laid off. Boop, this is happening. And I ended up into full-time entrepreneurship. That's how it started. But the big why, which I think is important when anybody is starting a business, is why are you doing what you're doing? Because the money is going to come and go. It's going to go up. It's going to go down. There's going to be droughts. There'll be sometimes where it's a trickle. And then there's sometimes where there is complete overflow. If money is your driving factor behind entrepreneurship, you will not make it long term because you'll be frustrated behind the dollar or the dollars that you see and you don't see. So you have to have some other purpose behind it. For me, this was one, I want to be able to put in a place where I can have full capability to be myself, where I could be a catalytic response for knowledge sharing. And that was one of the biggest prayers. I was like, Lord, please let me be a catalytic response. If one person can get it, then the next person can get it, and the next person, let me be catalytic. And the next reason of staying in this for so long is because I truly wanted an environment where it would be regarded, respected, and where other people could come in and their values and their skills would be able to be regarded and respected and truly have a balance between work and life. Because I was told by so many different quote unquote leaders and managers what I wasn't going to be and how I wasn't going to attain it. And I was working myself to the point of sickness, and it wasn't fruitful for me in the way I needed to be. It was meaningful as far as, okay, my bank account ain't dry, my health insurance is good, but there wasn't that fulfillment behind it. And I knew I needed to be in a place where I could serve and be in a place to knowledge share. And so every day I wake up knowing that I get another opportunity to try to impart and to be able to help somebody else. Aside from the servitude of having that servant heart and servant leadership, I have kids now. I didn't have kids when I started this business. So my why shifted, and your why will shift a little bit. It will get more poignant. It will get more important. And for me, it's giving them something that they can hold on to, and that they can, if they want to, go into the business. And if not, that this business fuels avenues for them to be able to do what they want to do, not what they have to do. So that's the why.
So let's get into what she just explained, y'all. Was she evolved over and over and over, depending on what life threw at her, what she was planning for, etc. And so I know that Myranda is a planner. Okay, so like, y'all, I'm a do like, I ain't got no sponsors yet. Down the road. So this is my remarkable, right? So she and I both have remarkables. Remarkable. Anybody hashtag remarkable if y'all want, y'all can sponsor me.
Wait. Hashtag remarkable 2.
Remarkable 2. Y'all could spot. Ooh, my pen. Y'all could. This is real life. Y'all could sponsor your girl. I mean, she loves you. We both have remarkables. Myranda is a tech. Trying to turn me into a tech something. Phones and gadgets and notes, and you know what I'm saying? Before it ever becomes into fruition for her, she has it somewhere written down, right? So that's the beauty of the remarkable, because it gives you that pen to paper type feel. Documented where she can actually put her hand on it and be like, all right, so she maps it out. Y'all have no idea. So like, we have our own little mastermind group, and she showed this mind map thing that she created, and I just was like, y'all, this is like, that's how her mind thinks, and she uses technology to the fullest. So when people are we got people at various levels listening to this, right? People are starting out, they don't know what to do, they're trying to figure it out. How do they, number one, get it on the paper so that they have a plan, not necessarily a business plan like we were taught in school, but a plan. And then how do they come from off the paper into execution?
So here's what I always tell people. I get that question a lot, where people have a lot of ideas, and I tell them, they're focusing on the end result. They're like, I know I want to do this, and I know I want to get here. And I'm like, just brain dump. Get you a sheet of paper, get you a tab if you like me. You got a note, you got a remarkable, you got something, write on it, whatever it may be. And I highly recommend, do not do it in a Word document or something like that. And I'm going to tell you why in a moment. There is power in the PEN. When you write something down, and that is physically coming from your brain to your head to your hand to writing it down, there's something about seeing your hand put those things down. That's your mind, your thoughts. You type in, you hit save, okay, I walk away. But when you got something tangible or something that you've written hand, it's a different type of power behind it. So dumping your brain, write down everything. You're talking about customers, you're talking about where you want to be as far as maybe location, web design, any and everything that may be pertaining around that business idea. Just write it down. No order, no structure, no nothing. Just get it all out. Then from there, start to group the things that have to deal with, okay, this is what I need to start out. Business licenses, websites, those types of things. Start grouping them. Location, equipment, start grouping them. Then once you've grouped, take a moment to look at those groups and kind of see where they're at category wise, okay? Because you'll start to see like, wait a minute, okay, I got to get all the business licenses and stuff. Wait, I need some type of investor possibly in what you're doing. Okay, well, this is what I need to set up business bank accounts. All those things are, when you start to group those are those startup phases. They have nothing to do with the customer. That's later. All the initial stuff is the startup. So once you start to group and categorize, you're going to almost see that workflow of where things need to go. Then from there, start thinking about one of the other things that you may brain dump as you're going in is people involved that you may need their help with. Because I'm going to let you know, business entrepreneurship can be a lonely place if you allow it to. But sometimes it needs to be a lonely place in order for you to gain the lessons and the knowledge that you need. But it's good to have the right advisors around you and the right counselors and the right people to pour into you from the beginning, because everybody can't be on the journey with you and you can't have everybody in your stuff. So the right people that you can share those things with, that can come and help you tweak different things, that can help you get different things, and who can hold you accountable to different things. So that is from the beginning. When you talk about that startup, you say, okay, well, I want to talk about possibly registering my business. All right. Well, then you start to look at that first category. Let's say we have that first category. We've got, I need to find a business name. I need to figure out if, if my name is trademarked. I need to find out if it's available through my Secretary of State, or do I want to do a DBA? All those different things. What do I want to call this business? Those things, those are all those startup foundational tools. And one of the biggest things that I would say, after you've grouped, step away from it and then figure out why you're doing all of this. Because remember, I started out with the why. You need to know why you're doing all of this. Why are you doing all of this? What's the why? The why starts even before the action of business name, registration, all that, because those are the start. Once you got that why defined, all right, let's start in that foundational piece. Let's figure out what your name is going to be. Let's see if your name is available. Let's talk to the right resources, maybe bringing in those people. That's your beginning start. And then understanding you don't have to do everything at T-minus 60 seconds. It don't have to be done that fast. It's a process. It's a journey. You got to literally take it one step at a time. So don't let the paper of everything that you threw down there. My sheet of paper had, I can't even tell you, like, it's over here, but it, like, I kept, no lie. Like they're flagged. So, stuff is flagged, stuff is in here. And these aren't even the original ones. The original ones are in 3-ring binders in here. I keep them so that I can always have a point of reference to go back to make sure that, we're on track or we did those things. But it was very overwhelming. I was like, oh my God, this is a lot. And then it was like, okay, we don't have to do all of this. We just need to start here. And then taking little steps along the way. And then once you've gotten those foundational pieces of, okay, well, my name is available. Okay, well, I know where I want to go. Okay, I know those different things. Now you may have a couple of things in category 2 that you can start to work in. Okay, now I can move in category 2. It doesn't mean that everything may be checked off in number 1, but you need to at least have that good foundational piece there, and then start to move into those other categories. Reverse engineering. Set yourself almost like a deadline. If you're in a situation like, for example, my back was against the wall. I got laid off. April 11th, I got laid off. And it was like, oh my God, what am I about to do? And a certain person sitting on this podcast with me once again came back and was like, if you don't get yourself up on the floor and run that business full time, I ain't fooling with you. And I was laying in the floor on the phone. Huh? Okay.
You make me sound like,
I guess I get up.
I am a business bully, and I am not.
No, you're a business motivator and accountability person.
I'm an encourager, people.
You need that, because sometimes you get in your own way, and sometimes you get to the point where, as my accounting manager says, we think that we're fighting giants, but they're actually big teddy bears that we just need to fold into and squeeze. but we see them as giants. We're like, oh my God. And it's really not an oh my God situation. That's what it was. I was laying there coming undone. Folks, I had applied for 311 jobs, got 2 more, and then got laid off those 2 jobs. And this was all in while still working in this business. And Patrice was like, stop. Get yourself up and run this business full time. Okay? And then call me back. Girl, I got to go to this meeting. Okay. So I think she was still working.
I was working at the Department of Commerce.
Yeah, you was sitting on the dock of the bay. You know, you was sitting on the dock
I
of
was
the bay.
working.
She was like, get your life. And I got off of the phone and I got my sheet of paper back out and already had, you know, gone through many of those layers of things that I told you about in building. That was there, but because I wasn't seeing the manifestation of these different things and the fruits, I was like, yo, this ain't working. I got it. No. Patrice was like, stop trying to fit and put other things in there. Do what you know you're supposed to do. And I was like, she right. Okay. I got off the phone. Okay. And it was right back on track. And you need that. So when I talk about in the beginning, who can you let into your circle, in your intimate space? Because this is intimacy. Into me, you see intimacy. That you're getting ready to bring somebody intimately into your space of business. And Patrice was one of those people that I could bring into that. She know me from some of everything. So ain't no problem with me being like, oh, Patrice, this is going on. She's like, yeah, okay. So what we gonna do about this is we gonna talk about this, and then we just gonna pray about this real quick, and then I got to get off the phone because girl, I got to go eat, or because girl, I had a meeting, I got to go. It was always, you know, one of those things, real quick. But I'm blessed to be in a space to have not only people like Patrice, but I've got an army around me of folks that I can literally be like, yo, this is what's going on. I got this, and they like, okay, we'll do this, and move it out. Many people can't say that. When I say an army, I got an arsenal.
Right.
Many people can't say that, but find you at least one person, 1 to 2 that you know can hold you down when you have one of those I ain't too sure about these moments, and they be like, get your black ass up. So yeah,
y'all can't see me, but I'm laughing. You can hear me. Let's go back. So let's unpack.
Unpack it, girl.
What she just said. Okay, first of all, you have to have a why, and everybody says this. And you're like, people have exercises of how to get to your real why. She's already told you money can't be the sole motivation because you ain't gonna stay in it. Because money, you know what I'm saying? Like, people is you can make more money on OnlyFans on your big toe. So, I'm not trying to tell people. I don't got an OnlyFans account. This is what I heard. I heard this in the streets. I don't know if it's true, but I feel like it is. But there's plenty of, I'm just saying, there's plenty of ways to make money and make money quickly. Some of it is legal, some of it is illegal. So money can't be the motivation. There's got to be a driving force, a driving passion. That's what she said. So that's really when people are talking about these whys, those are what those are. What makes you keep going regardless of how your body feels, how your mind is thinking. Like we've talked about this before. You want to quit several different times. So you got to have a burning desire. Everybody who's read Napoleon Hill or heard Napoleon Hill, right? It's about desire. It's got to be passion. It's got to be bigger and deeper than you, right? It can't be, sometimes those hobbies can turn into those passions, but that's why when people talk about, so what would you do this? Why would you do this and not make money? That's why they're saying that, because you may not come out the gate making money. You may not. So it can't be about money. It's got to be, I'm going to make this, as Myranda said, I'm going to leave a legacy. I'm going to leave my name. It's going to mean something. My reputation means something. Getting to those reasons why make all the difference in anybody's circumstance. And then she said, just data dump. Whenever it hits you, put it on paper. Not, and I've done voice memos. I'm not gonna lie to you. Some of my best content, or some of my best copy is me talking, and then we take it and we convert it. Right. So I work with people to help me do that. But get those ideas out of your brain and somewhere where you can refer to it on an ongoing basis. And then she said, not only after you get this information out, she said, leave it alone. So most people like, oh my God, I feel the clock is racing, right? So she said, stop. Step away. Give yourself time to reprieve. Give yourself time to rest. And then after that, come back to it and then start clumping them. Start putting them like with like. Like we making a cake here, right? Y'all know if you open the oven too fast, right, and the cake not done, it'll fall. It'll taste nasty. It'll be hard on the outside and soft on the inside. Y'all, it's almost lunchtime. I'm hungry. So, this is really real deal.
That's a good analogy though, because when you bake, especially when you bake from scratch, you have to do dry ingredients first, then wet ingredients. And wet ingredients have to be folded into your dry ingredients. You just can't dump them, because if you dump them, you mess up the consistency in there. I cook and I bake, y'all. So that's why I'm sitting here going, you literally have to, there's a rhyme and a reason. Dry first, and even that is in a certain order, and then wet. And wet is folded in. It's not beat in, it's folded in. So you think about that when you're talking about steps in business. Think of your dry ingredients, your wet ingredients, you're folding it in, then you're baking. And like Patrice said, you just can't keep going in there checking the oven, or it's bad. It's gone. It's souffle ain't no more souffle. It done flopped. Cake done fell.
Nasty, all soggy in the middle.
Oh, nasty.
Because you read. This is the same. That's the Holy Ghost, y'all. This is and my belly. It's the same thing that makes stuff flow the way it needs to flow, and that's truly what it is. It's a process. And so when I'm trying to test processes and procedures and policies, right? Myranda is one of the first people I go to. Yo, check me, because I need a checker. She's talking about that accountability, right? I need a checker. Am I off? Like, I share it with my team as well. Y'all read this and let me make sure this works. And y'all test this and see if it flow. Does this make sense to you all? The reason why is because some people on my team they don't have all the experience I have. They only have a piece of the experience. And so therefore, getting all that information from somebody who's brand new, reverse engineering it sometimes is hard because we forget where we came from. That's why when Rand say go back and look at the notes, that helps. When I first was trying to put this together, I don't know. So as we're out here offering better services, improving our services, adding more products for people at various levels, we literally have to go back to the beginning. And if you don't have a reference point to go back to what it felt like when it was in the beginning, it's hard. And so I know a lot of times you hear stuff and people make it sound simple. Here's my hack. Here's my thing. Do this, right? I'm going to tell you, everybody you hear talking about hacks, the only way you can get a hack is that you have to go through a process. You got to go through all the steps. That's the hack of all hacks. You got to go through the journey. Now, learning from people will shorten your time. Education does. Try somebody else's mistakes and learning what they did or following it to a T. I'm telling you, because y'all, I'm taking this course and I obviously need, I'm using new software to record the podcast. I've watched some stuff. I got to do better with courses. I got to get this stuff folded in. Like what we're going to look like in 3-4 months is not what we're doing now. Y'all look like this. If you compare this to last year's video, it's not going to look the same. I'm getting different equipment. I'm getting different mic. I'm getting different lighting. There's things that we are putting in place. But and my learning curve is shortened by me taking courses or getting connected with somebody else who already has been there. But trust me, they went there and they made all the mistakes. The only reason why they can give me the hacks, the shortcuts, is because they took the journey up before I did. And so that's the piece we have to remember. So when she's talking about getting intimate with people, finding you somebody who can help you along with the journey, somebody who's been ahead of you, somebody who's riding with you at times, and sometimes the roles flip. And that's what she's sharing with you. Sometimes our roles flip. She is further along in full-time entrepreneurship than I am. I've only been out here, in March will be 3 years. 3 years. Look at 3 years.
Yeah.
God.
Years.
Okay,
Yep.
Lord. But I've been in business for 20 plus years, because what she said was the same thing. I started my business when I was working full time. And so the things I did when I was working full time for somebody else, it's not the same mode when I'm working for myself full time. It's a whole different type of game out here when it's just you and your team that you're building piece by piece, tech by tech, process by process. And so therefore, this is why I brought her on, because she is the queen of policies and procedures to me, and processes and systems, because of the things she's done. Like she told y'all, I wrote it all down. I've cried. I rolled around in the floor. I've been at this. I've had kids. I've not had kids. I've been in the trenches. I've been out of the trenches. I've had to restart more times than it's been a smooth sailing. I've had income go up. I've had income come down. I've had income be stagnant. She could tell you. And so what makes you think, or like, and I've asked you this question before, policies and procedures, like SOPs, we know them, right? When should business owners start writing policies and procedures, SOPs? When do you start?
From the start, you're creating SOPs and you don't even realize it. Like, a lot of people think because you work a job and you think, I get this handbook, it tells me this is what I have to do, or I start this job, they give me an SOP. Well, that didn't come just because you got there. It came from somebody literally being in the position or creating this position and saying we're going to do it. So, say for example, when I started, when you are in business and first starting out, you're a solopreneur. It's just you. You are everything from the janitor to the frontline employee to the CEO to the board of directors you are everything. You your own admin, and people don't even know you your own admin because you pick up the phone and you say, "Hola, ¿cómo está? How you doing today? We thank you for calling Harper Business Solutions. How may I help you?" And they think they're talking to somebody else and they only talking to you. Yeah, I've done that, folks. So you see how I went very quickly, right? So it's literally, I was documenting that type of stuff. Now, for me, that was happening in two places. One, because I'm always doing this number, or either on the phone doing it, or I'm typing it while I'm doing it. It's creating in that mind to be able to replicate. Like starting out, I did not have programs that were helping me to record processes or helping me to, transcribe processes to build hardcore manuals like that. I didn't have that. So it was, okay, how are we doing this? Because in my mind, I always knew it wasn't going to be just me. So if you're thinking in the space of, it's not always going to be just me, you need to be documenting that from the beginning. So take, for example, I was my own social media person in the beginning. All right, what does this look like? Building website design, put this on. This is how it's structured. I had a notebook just for that, to be able to sketch out how that website was going to look and when I needed to post certain things. And at that time, IG was just starting to roll around. It wasn't the big man on campus, for everybody was still on Facebook platforms and stuff like that. And so it was like, okay, how do we do this? What kind of post do we need to do? Okay, mapping out what that looks like. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Okay, that's good. All right, what do my emails need to say? Because a lot of people end up sending the same email. All right, well, do I want to create some type of division between myself? Yes, for me, I do want to have a division because I want there to be Myranda J Harper that people get in touch with. And then if they need something general, they're going to Harper Business Solutions, to the team. There wasn't a team, but it was functional, almost like a ghost team, like your ghostwriters. I was my own ghostwriter. And people in that regard started to learn, oh, this business has a process that I have to follow from the get-go in order to get to Myranda. or the order to get to this end result, I have to follow this process. And so for me, it was, all right, here's this email template. Let me save that. Again, didn't have all these extra tools. So what did I have? I had my email account, which was hosted through, what were they at that time? Like Google Work, I think was what they were called before they ended up in the Google Apps. So it was Google Work and putting that in. And I had the HBS general account. And so I'm saving, I would create an email, have that, like, what's the template? I knew if certain people had about whatever that particular message may be. For example, like it's tax season, people want to know, okay, how do I file my taxes with you? I would just go back to that email that I was saving a draft that already had the subject. So I already knew, create new email, copy and paste subject, copy and paste body, send it over to the person. Done. That quick. So it was creating those things along the way. So that way, when it got to an additional team member, I could just point them in the direction of various things. So your SOPs may not be being built from the beginning, very detailed structure as you may think, as far as using other tools, but it's good to have the methodologies documented. And when I say methodologies, that's your, procedures or your policy, how you're going about things. You take, for example, the baker who wants to come in and own the cupcake shop is going to have the recipes. Robert Irvine from Restaurant Impossible, he would tell you all the time when he comes into these kitchens and stuff, he's like, where's the recipes? Because the recipes then in turn allow you to be able to price your ingredients, which in turn allow you to be able to know exactly how much your food cost is going to be, which in turn allow you to be able to see how much overhead and expenditure that you need. You're not thinking about it from that standpoint as a solopreneur. You're like, okay, I just got to bake these cupcakes. But when you start to build that team and when you start to step into the other roles, take that hat off of being the baker, and now you're coming into the business owner who's talking about, okay, let me look at my variable food costs. How much is this costing me? That's the SOP to be able to go back and look at. Oh, wait, okay, so this costs this costs this. Okay, we need to buy this. Those are the SOPs. You got to have the recipe, how to get through it. So for me, it's always going back and then understanding that your policies and procedures are going to evolve as your business evolves. So you're going to go back and you're going to tweak them. You're going to perfect them. Or sometimes you're just going to have to chuck them to the side and you need a whole new policy. You need a whole new system. You need a whole new procedures to start with. Maybe take, some of the base foundation, like, okay, this is what worked. This is what didn't work. What do we need to enhance this? Or, like I say, you've got to scratch it and start all over again. I have definitely done that where it's been like, okay, you know what? This system doesn't work anymore because it doesn't have the security that we need. Scratch, it's out. Or this process doesn't work for my clients anymore because this is what their needs are now. Scratch, we got to evolve this. So you got to always be able to be ready to adapt, improvise, and overcome. Adapt meaning whatever is going to happen. Yeah, you had it right.
I had it right. I had it right.
Right. Adapt, improvise, and overcome. Adaptation, no matter, adapt to the scenario, adapt to the situation, adapt to the business environment, adapt to the market. Because guess what? Those things, some things are within your control and some things are not within your control. But how flexible are you able to move within that? That's your adaptation. The chameleon. No matter where the chameleon goes, the chameleon is going to adapt to that situation. Improvisation, improvising is important. Y'all, I have sat in meetings sometimes where we've gone in with game plan. This is plan A. All right. We get in there, we're talking to a client. It's like, what? Well, I can't leave out the meeting and be like, well, you know what? I don't know. Okay, good luck. Boom. Nope. Improvise. Well, you know what? We can do this. This can be done. We can arrange this and this will be that. And my accounting manager has been looking at me sometimes like, is she crazy? I can see it on her face like, oh my God, I know we're not getting ready to do that. Oh, yes, we are. We are improvising our way through this, but that is coming out with ideas, tools, and processes to be able to put in place for us as well as the client. Improvising. Does the client even realize that I'm improvising at that point? No. Guess what? Because that's what improvisation is all about. Comedians do it all the time. Improvise. Overcome. Know that no matter what the situation is, you're going to get through it. You're going to overcome it. It may only, sometimes it's going to be something that you got to endure for a little bit. It's going to be some heartburn. And then sometimes, it's like, oh, okay, that wasn't bad. I'm over it real quick. Boom. But knowing you're going to overcome any and everything. Adapt, improvise, overcome.
First of all, y'all, I'm glad I got that right.
You did.
At the beginning.
I mean, you've been around me.
I've been around her long enough because she'll spit that. Where we at? What phase we at? What you doing? And sometimes I gotta spit her own stuff back at her, right?
Yeah.
Just a reminder. Hey, this is what you stand for. This is what you're doing. You can do this. You can.
And I'd be like, all right, yeah, okay, you're right. I'm gonna overcome. Let me go get my stuff together. You're right, Teresa. I'm gonna go get something to eat.
You can do this. Take a break.
Take a break. It's okay. You're gonna overcome. All right.
Miranda's the queen of take a break. Start over. Yeah. Get some rest. Look at it later. Come back to it in some hours. Take a nap. It's okay.
And sometimes it may come back. It may be you need to leave that alone right now. Sometimes you got to know when to walk away from something. And I know people use
Kenny Rogers.
You do. You got to know when to walk away. And it doesn't mean that you may walk away and never go back to pick that up. But sometimes you got to let it go. I can literally tell you firsthand how I have watched business owners, both those that have been close to me and people who I have worked with as far as client base, where I don't have a very personal relationship with, where I've watched them hold on to something that the rope is cutting through their hands and they are bleeding. They're catching 3rd-degree rope burn. It's all over the place. Skin is gone. And I'm like, dude, let it go. It's okay. I have seen it. I have told them, like, this ain't gonna work. You might want to walk away. It's okay. It's all right. It hurts. It hurts when sometimes you have to walk away from something. It sucks. I've been in that same position within my business where I've had to walk away from stuff. Some I've walked away from and I've picked it back up and been like, okay, we can do this now. But I didn't want to walk away from it. I didn't want to do it at that moment because it's what I wanted. But that's ego. That's ego. You got to put ego to the side to be able to make smart decisions for yourself and your business. Because what you don't walk away from sometimes can end up being destructive. And it can be destructive and repairable, or it can be destructive and it's not able to be repaired at all. It will straight up kill you in the business. So you got to know when to walk away. I can't stress that enough. And there are things that I've walked away from HBS and I haven't picked up. And there's things that I've walked away from that I have had to shelve. Sometimes it's okay to put that book back on the shelf. My grandma is the queen of, I'm going to read the beginning of the book. I'm going to read the end. Because I couldn't wait to see how it's going to end. And then I'll come back and read the middle. She literally will walk away from a book sometimes because she is so enthralled. She just can't wait to get to the end. She'll be like, ooh, child, I got to get to the end. But she will come back and read the middle of the book and be like, oh, okay, that was good. Or sometimes she goes through the whole thing. Or sometimes she said, I remember when she was reading The Shack. I remember when she was reading The Shack. It was one that she started out and she said, child, it got so good to me, I had to put it down for a little bit. Because it was that overwhelming for her. And she had to put the book down. She had to walk away because it was that much. It was an emotional attachment to this book and the journey that this book was taking her through and the impact that it was having on her. She had to walk away for a little bit. Then she came back and picked the book up. Oh, girl, it was so good, child. Have you read it? Woo! But it meant more to her because she had to take a moment to do this. Decompress and then come back to the book. And that's the same thing as you go through your business and entrepreneurial journeys. Sometimes you got to do this and then come back. And I say that it's important to do that for the entrepreneur. Let me speak to my entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurship is any and everybody who has that business that they're doing, their idea. That little girl who has her lemonade stand, she's an entrepreneur. That little girl who's baking cookies, she's an entrepreneur. You Girl Scouts, you entrepreneurs right now, okay? You're entrepreneurs. Those are your entrepreneurs. They're working, they're doing these things. They've got other things that are going. That's entrepreneur. Sometimes you got to step back out of the entrepreneurial journey and be like, you know what, that's not for me right now. I need to do this job. Or I don't know if this is really it. I'll come back to it and walk away. Business ownership. That's a different ball game. When your life is contingent on your business, the lights on and off, whether you eating, whether you're not, the car note and everything, business ownership. When you have the responsibility to other people and making sure their households are fed as well because your payroll is supporting them, business ownership. That's a whole different ballgame. Whole different ballgame. And you definitely got to know when to step back, step off, because it's not just you're impacting. It's your clients, it's your personnel, it's your business bottom dollars, it's your household, because you may have a spouse, a boyfriend, girlfriend, whomever, who's like, look, this is what you're doing over here and this is impacting me. You have got to know when to step off and take a break. Because if not, what you hold in business ownership, if you don't know when to take a break and when to walk away, and what Kenny Rogers say, hold them, fold them, and yeah, you don't know when to do that, you will tank that business and everybody that is impacting also. And then you got to deal with that. It's a little easier for my entrepreneurs. But when you walk into that business ownership, that's a whole different ballgame. Whole different ballgame. You got to know when to do it. Got to.
I love it. We're not going to take too much more of your time. She came at y'all from a whole different angle. This is why this podcast is called Talks with the TaxCop. Like, I really want to put people that are aware of different aspects of just business, different business owners, because I have clients that y'all have no idea of how certain things work in the industry, and them explaining their process makes a difference. Of course, I've told y'all the purpose of this podcast is to show how we are more similar than different.
Very much so.
But you don't have to do it by yourself. You really don't. You don't. It's not all about accounting and tax and everything like that. But it is about making sure you have a good infrastructure. And so this won't be the last time that Myranda is on. Like I said, this is like her sweet spot. This truly, in my opinion, yes, she has a wonderful accounting firm. Yes, she knows quite a bit about nonprofit and anything that say non. If it come in my firm, that's who you're dealing with, because you're not going to deal with me. But I love the systems, the process and procedures, the tech. I love that aspect of Myranda's brain. I love the visionary aspect. I love the fact that she is really about solutions. Harper Business Solutions truly is about the solution that best fits you and yours. And so if you're looking for, if the people are looking for, hey, you know what? I don't know where to start. I need some help with setting up some of the things you were saying. I want to get connected to you because of what you said. How do they reach you, Fran?
Our website is www.harperbusinesssolutions.com. We're on IG and on Instagram at Harper Business Solutions on both. In addition, we're also on LinkedIn, which is also under Harper Business Solutions. So everything is under Harper Business Solutions. It's definitely one that we hold core tenets, honesty, transparency, integrity, accountability, respect, mindset, and understanding that your mindset is impacted by your mind state. Knowing that if you're going to be with HBS, you're going to be challenged, you're going to be educated, you're going to be stretched, whether it be you're willing or you're not. Sometimes I get clients like, look, I ain't asked for all this. And I'm like, I know you didn't, but this is going to help you. And they're like, oh man, I know. But the reason being is because I tell people, anybody that's connected to me, you're going to be challenged. You're going to be strengthened. You're going to be educated. You're going to be stretched. You have no choice, because people that I'm connected to, the counsel that I have around me, they stretch me. And then the ultimate counselor, God himself, stayed. Me and him, we, as I tell people, I got my foot on his neck just as hard as he got his foot on mine. We got heavy relationships. So therefore, I may say some things and I may challenge clients and even people who aren't clients. No matter if people sign up for services, they still get something from HBS, period. You're still going to be blessed in some shape, form, or fashion. But just know it's going to help you reach beyond numbers for sure. You're not going to be just focused on the money. You're going to want more. You're going to want more. And that's not from a cocky state. That's a confident, I know because I've been doing this. And I know because I'm purposely called into what it is that I'm going to do. And I answered that. And I don't take this lightly. So Harper Business Solutions on every platform is where you can find us at.
I love it. My little camera went off, so I had to switch to a different camera, y'all. This the beauty of tech. You had backup. Y'all like, she look different at the end. She do, cause she's all in your face. It's a whole different type of camera. Anybody listening to the podcast and has not watched the video, I encourage you to go watch the video. Those who are watching the video, I encourage you to go download the podcast, because this is something you're going to want to hear again. I'll make sure in the notes and everything that I put her contact information. You got to go through her process and procedures, y'all. Just like if you come and work with the TaxCop and Total Tax Experience, you can go through our process and procedures. It's not to hurt you. It truly is to harm you and to point you in the best direction. So sometimes you may end up at Harper Business Solutions because I know that's the best fit for you. Sometimes you stay with me. Sometimes you'll be referred to somebody else. But I want you to know that as you grow and as you improve, sometimes it's a collaboration. Rand will tell you. Sometimes it's a collaboration with us. I'm like, right now I got this going on. I need you to take care of this because we dealing with this over here.
Yep. Get
this person, this, and this. I know you're the best person and you and your team can take care of it.
And that happens over here.
Right. She'll be like, hey, you got this. You got to go to the TaxCop and her team. I can't. You got to go
with the team. You can't stay over here.
Yeah, this not working. You really need this. This is that's a better fit for you. So, I want to thank you for your time. I want to thank you for being my first guest on season 2. Like, I need some sound effects. Season 2. Y'all, we back. We're gonna be consistent. It will be times where it will be me just going through some stuff that I'm reading and saying, hey, y'all need to pay attention to this. Individuals and business owners, right? So I'm not just going to make it just for business owners. It's people who have a seed in them that are doing the process that Rand said, that y'all are just still in your data dump stage and you're not at the execution stage, but you still need to hear these things because you don't know when to get out of data dump stage and actually go into execution stage.
But you know what, Patrice? Let me help you very quick. Because when we talk about empire-driven CEOs, individuals, you are CEOs of your household.
Love it.
And the same tools that we talked about for the entrepreneur, your house is a business. You got bills you got to pay. You doing a job. Kids, if you got kids, they got to be at certain places. You got goals, aspirations that you're trying to get that team, those your personnel, your team to that next level. Same thing can happen. If you're married, y'all sit down, map those things out. What you're trying to do, scoping those same categories and then grouping. This has to deal with our marriage. This has to deal with our household. This has to deal with our kids. This has to deal with our goals for now, for later. Group them. Like same thing. Same thing applies all the way to business and personal. So the same methodologies that I talk about as far as principles to the business, I got folders for the house too, y'all. So it works the same way, just for the house. Also.
I love it because we are always talking about demystifying this thing. It's about terminology and how you think it. Y'all already know how to ride this bike. Y'all know how to ride a business bike. Let's be real. I do that in my consults as well and be like, look, you already know this. I'm just going to, in accounting, we just put different terms on it. I'm going to switch the terms for you and break it down into something you already recognize. When it becomes familiar, you're like, oh, I can do this. It becomes that teddy bear that you say your account manager was. Because that's what it is.
Yep.
We make it more difficult and we want to work through that mindset stuff. So, Myranda, thank you so much for even making that correlation that we got information for you. It don't matter if you're the individual. It don't matter if you got a household where you got kids in it. If it's just you and you working to get a household where you can get some kids in it. If you got a business, you thinking about it. It's stuff that's here for you. And so we want to be those resources. You can reach out directly to Harper Business Solutions. You can follow her on Instagram. Everything is Harper Business Solutions. So we'll put all that information in there. Yep. Or just typing, she say something reaching beyond numbers, because that joint is trademark.
Y'all, so it's Harper Business Solutions.
Y'all, come on. Y'all just type it. She said reaching beyond numbers. Okay. Harper Business Solutions. Go on, put it in Dr. Google. He your friend.
Myranda J Harper.
Come on, let's do it.
I'm messing up my own trademark. Myranda J Harper-Penn. I'll be forgetting about my.
Come on, let's do the right thing. Yeah, come on, do the right thing.
Yeah, I know.
TaxCop is available for you as well, because I know Total Tax Experience. You like the tax was in there. Go to the TaxCop. Know that we're available. Know that we're here. And even if you send or call, send us a message and be like, "Who was that girl you had on?" I ain't gonna be offended. I'm here to I'm here to serve y'all and point y'all in the right direction. So we thank you for tuning in to another episode. Myranda, thank you. Always.
You know you got it. Anytime. Always. All you gotta do is ask.
I truly appreciate you. I obviously got some more tech stuff I gotta learn.
Don't call me.
Give me an extra battery. I'm learning. Give me an extra battery. Make sure your stuff plugged in. At least you got a backup camera.
It's important.
Your audio is working. Figure out how to separate your audio from all the stuff. Thank God I got a teenager that's what we praying for. Because he about to get some more homework, y'all. Get your kids involved. Come on. When you don't know what you don't know, that you don't know what you don't know. Okay? Other than that, I thank you for your time. Y'all, season 2, episode 1 is done. We're going to be consistent. It's going to drop. And then we going to do episode 2. I'm going to be consistent. We're going to go back to our weekly. It may just be short, depending on what we got lined up. But we're going to make this work for y'all. All right?
Awesome. Yay.
All right. Woo! We did it.